Hi, I'm MG Siegler here with TechCrunch TV, and I'm here today with Matt Sanchez, who's the CEO of the newly created Say Media. Formerly, you were the CEO of VideoEgg, and you guys had obviously some pretty big news this week. Do you want to just kind of talk about the basics of that to lead off with?
Sure. So thanks for having me, MG.
Yeah.
And so yesterday, or I guess officially this morning, we announced that we have entered into an agreement with SixApart to acquire the company. Mm-hmm. And as we looked at what it meant to really bring those two companies together and the opportunity there, we felt like there was something much bigger that was being created, and that VideoEgg sort of really didn't capture it all. And so we saw an opportunity to launch under a new brand and rename the company and really kind of cast it against the vision and the opportunity that we see with the combined company. And so today we've launched as Say Media. Mm-hmm. And once that deal closes with SixApart, they will join us under that new name.
Gotcha. And so had you guys been kind of looking for different partnerships that you were going to do for a while? Was it always kind of going towards this acquiring a content company kind of?
Well, I think that what we'd been trying to do is understand what the market needed from, I guess, advertisers were really struggling to connect with audience at scale. They weren't finding great solutions with existing media companies in mm-hmm. digital. And so we'd been doing a lot of work trying to understand where is the market going, what does the response need to be, and so this came out of that. One of the big areas that we felt marketers were looking for was an understanding of very differentiated content, how to connect with passionate audiences around that kind of content. And so a content play or something that represented the real rich heritage that SixApart had in content and in independent voices and creators that were kind of going out on their own to build audience just made a ton of sense. Mm-hmm. And kind of as we started thinking about pulling the two together, it started as a response to what marketers were looking for and understanding kind of how to build that bigger company that solves a lot of the challenges they were telling us about. But what we realized was bringing the two together really created the modern media company, and that connection between independent voices and passionate audiences and that interplay that was happening as media was reshaping itself and then trying to connect marketers to that at scale is what new media is all about, and it's what the modern media company has to represent.
And so, obviously SixApart has been around, I think they launched in 2001. They've been a big part of, the web presence for a long
Absolutely.
time now. So they obviously have a huge, passionate user base. And some of them, there were probably some mixed feelings about what this would mean exactly. But you guys are committed to keeping SixApart, the movable type platform, alive? Is that
Definitely.
Right?
So movable type and typepad will both be
right.
platforms that we'll keep alive and we'll continue to invest in. I think that what it really speaks to is the evolved needs of a creator. So 10 years ago, as you'll hear Mina and Ben talk about all the time, the needs of the creator were really tools to get their voice heard online. Mm-hmm. So it was, how do I get my blog up? How do I get a photo into my blog? How do I get people commenting on what I had to create? And as that has evolved, there's plenty of people who are still interested in just doing that and connecting with their friends. And right. For those people, the platform won't change at all. We'll continue to invest in that, and it'll be there for them. But there's a lot of people who actually are finding it a way to start to almost build their own media business. So, instead of needing to be part of a bigger media company and under the umbrella of, say, a magazine or some other publication,
right.
It's an opportunity to start creating that game or creating that blog or creating that video channel that is about what you really care about mm-hmm. and is ultimately sort of connecting to your audience, however niche or passionate it is. And you need more tools to be able to do that. So if you want to do that as a livelihood,
one of the tools,
right? So content management, the platform to get that up, that's a piece of it, right? But you also need to build an audience, mm-hmm. and you need a livelihood. So you need to make money, and that's done by connecting marketers with that audience.
But at the same time, you guys are obviously also acquiring quite a number of big sites. I think Huffington Post uses.
Well, so there's a whole set of sites that we just power through the platform.
Right, that you power through the platform.
There's other creators and media properties where we'll go beyond that and do more for them, help them with more elements of their business so that they can really successfully focus on what they love, which we think is creating the content they're passionate about.
Right. Okay. And I know in the release you had thrown out some of huge numbers. You've got 70-some million reach for the techie audience.
Right.
Was that right?
It was incredible when we put the two together and worked with ComScore to figure out what is that real potential reach of the company. It's almost 350 million people globally,
right?
And really strong vertical presence in verticals like tech, like business, like moms.
Right.
So we're really excited about what that's going to mean for marketers.
But is most of that through the advertising network itself? Is that fair to say? I mean,
right. A big
right.
piece of that is through the media network.
Okay.
Not, I don't know exactly what the breakdown is between the TypePad platform and
right.
the media network, but
right.
Combined, we're able to reach that scale. So then what we can do is we can take a creator that we're working with that's either on the TypePad platform or on another platform that's that they've chosen that works for them. Mm-hmm. Do really interesting things with marketers. Do game reviews around a game, or do cooking shows that are working with craft, or whatever you're looking for there, and then leverage the scale of the media network around a vertical to get scale as we syndicate out that content. So you have
right.
super interesting content coming from a creator that's passionate about that particular vertical or that particular topic that they're collaborating with the marketer on, but you have the scale of reaching those 70 million techies with that message.
I mean, do you think that in general that's kind of the move to these huge networks? Do you think that that's kind of the future of the content business online as it's going on? Obviously now you guys with the 350 million or whatever reach, that's huge. Is there still space, for the smaller guys? Or are you guys like just kind of creating this new entity that's going to be these huge superpowers of content?
Well, I think that you have to look at it from the perspective of the marketer. Mm-hmm. Fragmentation was a real problem. So we talked about fragmentation in content, where you had now thousands of people who could create their own content and had a voice and could connect with audience, and then hundreds of companies that sort of built up around that, trying to package that up for marketers.
Right.
Had a competency around building relationships with media companies, media buying agencies, creative agencies, their advertisers that they were working on behalf of. But if you go talk to media buying agencies today, there's just far too many entities that they're trying to work with and understand. Right. And frankly, I think that creates a lot of confusion. And so what we were seeing is a move toward more robust, scaled partners that had true capability across the spectrum of what you need from a media company that can help you understand digital. So they can help you understand what all this data means, or what it means to be on mobile and on a tablet and on the PC.
Right.
What it means to be across a whole bunch of verticals with audiences that are in the tens of millions, but are on thousands of different properties.
And let's talk about that a little bit, because that's kind of another thing that you talked about a little bit. That the idea is that it's not just about content on a page or anything now. It's about video games, it's about social networks and all this stuff. So kind of give your thoughts a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. So I think that part of the thesis here is that the rules of media have completely been broken. It used to be that you took a specific type of media or channel of media, whether that's the printed word or TV or whatever it is, mm-hmm. radio, and pushed it out through well-understood distribution channels. The beauty of the internet, the beauty of digital, is that it's done a couple of things. So it's democratized content creation. It's created sort of interactivity as an art form. So now, and that's really where you get into games like, I think we talked about Angry Birds, one of my
right.
favorite mobile apps.
Right.
But the idea that now the developer can create an experience that's interactive, that has an entertainment value or sort of time value for people, where they want to engage with that, is tremendously powerful. And so I think that you could take what you see today, and we'll go far beyond that in terms of the forms of interactive entertainment that people create, because it's really up to whatever people want to build now. Mm-hmm. It's not constrained by Comcast having laid fiber to or laid cable to 1 million households. The internet lets you do whatever you want, and the flexibility of an interface like the iPad kind of really opens that up. The other element of that we see as tremendously important is social. Right. Distribution is coming from sources that never were understood before in ways that can really be sort of measured and broken down for both a content creator and for a marketer.
Right.
People liking content,
right.
what it means to actually comment and have your content agenda shaped by your audience, giving you feedback about what you're saying. Things like posting to Facebook to let people know about content you care about. All of those become incredibly important elements of how you actually build distribution and build audience as a content creator. They're also really important elements of how a marketer reaches an audience and activates that audience around their brand. And so in a lot of respects, the rules of advertising, the rules of content are blending again around this sort of new form of media. And that's something that I think we can take all of our learning over the last decade as a combined company and really help both content owners or content creators that kind of want to build a new audience or want to launch a new brand on their own, and marketers who are trying to do the same, connecting with passionate audiences, be very successful.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Matt, for taking the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Stopping by.
It was great.
Thank you.